A very good afternoon, our viewers. Today we have got our own doctor. He's an academic. Everyone was waiting for this moment, even myself. So we are going to welcome our doctor. He's famous on Facebook or on social platforms. I'm sure on during these days and the past weeks and something like that, he has been trying by his best to also help in a number of things. So without preempting, let us welcome our doctor, Dr. Rufaro Kaseke. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, thanks. Thanks for having me on this.
At last, you see now, one thing which I'm happy of is that ndatsikwa nhasi ndinosombo ndosimboenda usually I interview a lot of people, but it was so challenging on my capacity to say how best can I invite yourself. So I was pushed by one of, I'm sure he's going to be watching. He's an academic. He said, no, you will be nothing if you don't invite that guy to your show.
I'm so honored. Thank you very much for that kind comment.
You're honored. You're honored. Yeah. And today, during the morning up until the afternoon, I was just saying, please, God, can you just help us? Because at times we want to interview someone and maybe signal or something like that fails us. So I was just saying that this is a high-profile person. We need him by all costs.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are delighted to have you on the show, sir. And I'm also, can I also say congratulations? Very soon you'll be graduating with your doctorate, which is a high achievement academically. We are going to touch on that. So we are going to have maybe our interview in 3 parts. So we are going to break it in such a way which will be exciting, which will make you comfortable, and which will make our day a memorable one. So to start with, who is Rufaro Kaseke? Who is Dr. Rufaro Kaseke?
Okay. Rufaro Kaseke is a lot of things, man. But yeah, I was born in Harare at Gomo, but I was brought up in Chitungwiza, Kurira, and I went to school there, and then I'm a filmmaker. Professionally, I'm a filmmaker. I also am a dad and all other things. And also I'm an activist. I'm a person who loves his country. I'm a person who is very passionate about all things Zimbabwe. Also, like you say, I'm an academic. Yeah, I'm so many things. I mean, I would be guided by your questions, but yeah, yeah.
Okay, which is very good. So let me try to first of all start with the professional side of yourself. You mentioned it very well that you are a film writer, you are a film producer. Can you take us through this journey? Because when you were young, you might had some other profession which you used to mention. You can remember when we were in grade 1, grade 2, everyone was saying, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this and that.
Yeah.
Was this thing of film industry within yourself when you were growing up? When did it start? You can take us through there. It's over to you, Sam.
Okay. You know what? I've always been a storyteller. This is something that I actually discovered when I was much older. That I was always a storyteller. I remember when I was young, I was probably the only person who would sit after Kana Katunia Pera. I would sit and watch the credits, the cartoon. So very early on, around 6, 7, 10 years old, Ndaito Zauti, there is Clive Muzumoto, there's Paul Zaza, there's sound effects. I knew my companies, SA, Anogadzira, my cartoon, Seban International, and all those companies. I didn't know why I was doing it, but I could sit and watch the credits and watch and read. I would read sound effects, director. So when I was from a very young age, I knew there was a director. I knew there was something called a studio. but then ipapo film career yanga isati yapinda musoro. I then went on to study other things. I remember when I was younger, my mother wanted me so much to study economics, so I pursued economics for a bit. That didn't really excite me, although I was good at it. I was very good at economics, but it didn't excite me. I would find myself um, looking back at it when I was older. I was like, okay, this is why this was happening, because whilst I was studying economics, my friends wonder they were drama people. So I never had friends in my economics class or in my whatever other class, especially when I was at A level. My friends were drama people. My friends were. I was in the school band, so art was always in me. I loved history so much. Like even up to now, I love history. I remember I read about the Russian Revolution when I was very young. I think about 12 years old. I knew about the February Revolution, the October Revolution. I knew about the Tsar Nicholas and all that. So history was, and also anything to do with art. I loved poetry. I loved. I remember I read the book about Vincent van Gogh when I was very very young. So art was always in me. And then fast forward to 2003. All right, that this was after trying so many things. I remember I worked in a pharmacy where I ended up being dispensing medicine. Like right now, I know how to read a prescription. I know that one TDS means 3 times a day. I know, so I know all that. I tried so many things, but in 2003, that's where the gong struck, because I began working for not working. I joined a church, Jabulala New Life Ministries in Harare, because I wanted a church, and because I was born a Methodist. My parents were a Methodist, but Methodist kwakusinganyanya kutambirwa matraditional churches anga kusinganyanya kutambira vanhu vanenge vaine bvudzi panhukirano. You know what I'm saying? I always
Yes.
felt out of place when I'm in that church, because people always look, because I've always been radical. I've always been very much against the grain. Saka ndakazojoina church yainzi Jabula New Life Ministries inoparidzwa na Bishop Tudor Bismarck. So when I got there, I felt at home. That place, Vakandi welcome, even with my dreads, I got baptized or whatever, which was really good. In that church, that's when my filmmaking talent was discovered. Firstly, because the preacher was talking about major gifts, amongst other messages. Very, you know how it is with charismatic preachers. They express things in a way that's sometimes very pragmatic. Saka, the preacher was talking about major gifts, and he was talking about identifying our major gifts and our minor gifts and all those things, and those concepts that got sticker in my head during that time. And then in that church they had a video team yavanga vainayo like by shooter my church services. So I joined that video team, right? Why I joined that video team is I just literally was fascinated by people standing on camera. So when I saw people standing on camera and doing all those things, I was just fascinated. For me, it was just pure fascination. All right. And then I joined that team. But me joining that video team was the game changer for me, because in that join ipapo, my capabilities as a storyteller akabatanga kubuda. So I remember in that join that team, I very quickly became a very competent camera person. So I started doing camera in that church, Ndichishansa, very professional cameras, and very quickly I could handle an ENG camera, and very quickly I became a technical director, whereby I would do my life. So besides my church services, the team was also hired to shoot among my commercial jobs. So I found myself there, sometimes, directing a team of 4 or 5 camera people and all that. And I was very good at it. From there, I started doing lights. So I can do stage lighting. I know how to do stage lighting. I can rig lights. I learned how to do sound. Ipapo. I learned ndakadzidzira zvakawanda during that time andandiri ndichishandira New Life Ministries. And then I decided it was time to move. Again, it was also under the inspiration of the preacher who was saying, you know, talking about growth and all that. So my growth came in the form of, I've always had, I'm a very agitated person. I agitate very easily. If I do something for too long, I get bored, and I want a challenge. I'm constantly looking for challenges. And then I thought to myself, this was now the storyteller in me kicking. Kuti saka muchechi maitwa ma-announcements, right? Muchiitwa ma-announcements aya, like aingoitwa ari zvekuti munhu anongomira pamberi and then they start talking. And then I said, why can't we do my-announcements as little skits? You know, so we started doing my skits. That's how I started developing my storytelling abilities. And then when I was I left. I didn't leave the church, but I left the team. And then I started doing my short films, Kumaraini, you know, to shoot my short films. You know, I would just pick up a camera and we would shoot. And then we grew. That was, we were going through around 2004, 5 then. And then Vandasia my short film. And then I started doing music videos. So between 2007, 2008, I was doing music videos. I did a lot of music videos for a lot of artists, Stana, Dino Dondo, Rocky, blah, blah, blah. Charles Sharamba. I remember I spent a big part of 2017 traveling with Charles Sharamba as his camera person. I was involved in a lot of my Charamba's videos, doing camera. And then also during that time, I started doing my live events. So part time when I develop my skills, you know, technical skills. And then even during that time also, I was getting hired by other people that would want me to work on their films. I remember Mdaranunzi Mtasa, Mr. Mtasa. He gave me my first break in a feature film where I was a production designer. Well, not a production designer because I wasn't really particularly skilled in that area, but like as a props person, so I did that, and then I started growing. Around 2008, another step. Like I said, I'm always agitating to move on. 2008, I left my music video. I literally quit music videos. Like I had artists lined up, Rufaro, we need a music video from you, but I just said, you know what, I'm chatting. I quit that and I started doing. I started shooting Haifa. I was the first person that I shoot a Haifa. Haifa, the Harare International Festival of the Arts. They didn't have like a video team per se. People would just shoot a little clip. My journalist in the way, and they would shoot little clips. And I said to them, why don't you have a whole entire festival recorded? And they said, oh, that's a great idea. So 2008, I think, I started shooting Haifa. The entire thing that I learned a lot. I learned planning. I learned because they were very organized. And then I did that 2008, 2009. Around the end of 2009, I was doubling down on that as well because I have a network one, so I did it 2000. I think 2007 because I did it, I think 3 years, 2007, 2008, 2009. I started to double down. And that's when I met a guy called Edin Love. Edin Love, anga ine story yake ya in the Souls of Emmanuel. So he showed me the story. He was like, okay, I've got my. So also during that time, the other thing, like I said before, I read a lot. You see, so I'd read books about lighting. I remember I would just sit in my spare bedroom in my father's house, and I would read books about lighting, about what I would read it to the end. So by then an idea is script writing. If 3x, this is how you do a script. So when this guy brought his project, I had an idea. So we started working together on that story, and we developed the script together, and then we finally made the film behind the Souls of Emmanuel. It was a full feature film, 90 minutes film. So in that film, I was the DOP, which is the director of photography. So I was responsible for lighting. I was responsible for the camera. I was responsible even for the grips team. In fact, I was the most experienced crew member. I was more experienced than the director. Because director anga first time yake. Saka, but as a professional, see, professionalism is an attitude. I've always had a professional attitude. Even before I started, I've always maintained with you, know your lane and stick to it. So during that time, I helped him a lot to make that film, and the film came out okay. That was 2009. Um, after that same film that we were writing, as we were making that film, me and my friend Jonja, with I call him, he's not my friend, he's my brother. We were writing another film called Lobola, which was a comedy talking about dynamics around the Lobola custom and all that. So we're writing that around 2010. It's immediately after Souls of Emmanuel, we started shooting Lobola, and Lobola was a very gruesome project for us because that's not married. It was an independent project, so we had to beg for resources and all that. We made Lobola, and it's just, I don't know if it's luck or it's just God that planned it that way. One of our actors who was in Lobola was a guy called Munya Chidonga. He was he had come out of a show here in the Big Brother Africa back then. So that's why we approached him. Tisnagana Mari, we went there and said, Munya, we want to do it. And he agreed, right? So we made the film. After we made the film, Big Brother called the men back for a show called Big Brother All Stars, which was combining my stars, my Big Brother, and Gary previous. So that was a blessing for us because soon after he got into Big Brother, and the guy got very, very popular in there. And so when he came out of Big Brother show 3 months later, Tata paid that we edit a film. So we're editing the film, and we're editing the film whilst this guy was in the show. So when he came out of the show, he was a star. Like, I'll just put it that way. When Munya came out of Big Brother, he was a superstar. He was known all over Africa. So that really gave us a really good boost for the film, And then so we started promoting the film that way. It was all very sort of strategic, albeit. So we started promoting this. So the film kind of blew up. It blew up. It didn't blow up because of Munya. It was a very good story. We wrote a good story. We did our best. We try to make a story that makes people funny, laugh, and all that. So the film blew up, and Lobola was probably the first independent film to sell that high. It sold 70,000 copies because we sold DVDs on the street. Yeah, it's the only film and that one in Zimbabwe so far that has had that much traction, whereby I would get on a bus going home and I would see people holding a copy of the film. And people would talk about the film whilst Ndrim Kovindaga side. They didn't know I was the producer. It was really good. And I would walk around town and I would see people buying the film on street corners. It was being sold like cigarettes because the strategy we went for was to get the film to the people. That was our idea. So we priced the film at $1, and we started selling it also because of piracy and all that. And after that, long story short, Lobola, a lot of things happened with Lobola. That's the film that launched us into the mainstream. It went into cinemas. It did all sorts of things. It opened doors for us in terms of even knowing distribution. Long story short, after Lobola, as Lobola was selling, we started working on another project which was called The Gentleman. And with The Gentleman, we were trying to correct my mistakes at Tangatera before. So it's like I said, I'm always agitating for the next challenge. So with The Gentleman, we thought, okay, we need to make a film that's got star quality, like super. Lobola had star quality, but we needed to make a film that had superstar quality. So we started writing a story which was set in both Zimbabwe and South Africa. And with the script done, again, John Jago wrote it, and I was again producer. I'm comfortable as a producer. I like putting things together. So after that, we decided, okay, what are we going to have for the film? So we decided to cast Presley Shwenehai. Presley Shwenehai was they'd done a film in 2006, just 4 years before, called Tsotso, and Tsotso had won an Oscar for best foreign film. So we thought, this is the guy that we want. We need superstar quality because as you learn film business, you understand that it's a business. There's things that you need to have in there. So we cast Presley Shwenehai, and it was really, really good. It gave the film the international flair that we wanted. The film did very, very well. It won awards. It did so well across the world. Although so much in Zimbabwe, we didn't sell it the way we sold Lobola, because we wanted the the international thing in it. So, but yeah, it worked out. It sold internationally. It did very well. It had a very big premiere in London in 2012. Prince Charles Cinema. We filled up Prince Charles Cinema, which is a big cinema. And kusvika pakuti mapurisa vakatozodzinga vanhu after the film because people didn't want to go home. It was a really good experience for us. Then after that, so after The Gentleman, I to be very honest, I was exhausted. I was totally exhausted. I mean, I felt like I burnt out. I gave my all into that film. And remember, so from 2009 to 2012, I was making films non-stop, one after the other. So from Souls of Emmanuel, I go straight into Lobola, I go straight into The Gentleman. So it took a toll on me. And then that's when I decided to take a little break and try other things and see if I can do other things. So yeah, I did that. So as that was happening, we were doing festivals with the film around the world, and then that's when I decided, okay, let me try something else. Let me do other things. And then I started to I wanted to see what's out there. So I spent a lot of time in England during that time, just checking out and also because The Gentleman, because it had so much international flair, we spent almost the whole year going around with it. We would go around with it, we would do appearances, radio, TV, what, distribution. Because my job as a producer also, it doesn't just stop when the film is finished. The job of a producer goes until the film has got a life of its own. It's got its own legs to move on. So with The Gentleman, because it had that much of international attention, I spent a lot of time massaging the film across the world. So that took a lot of my time as well. But during that time, as that was happening, I was also learning things about myself. So after that film, we made then we got picked. There's a company called Latima Media Group that was based in London. So they came over to Zimbabwe to make a film. They'd been given rights to a story called Something Nice from London by Petina Gapa. Petina Gapa is acclaimed Zimbabwean writer. So Petina Gapa gave them the rights to make that film. So the British Council chipped in, and we made the film. So with this film, since it was made by a mainstream company, we were sort of like understudying them, because the idea was for them to come and teach us, and then we do that. So I learned a lot during that production. It was a big budget production. I think £60,000 production, if not more. I mean, for us, it's a big budget during that time. £60,000 was not just small money. So we got involved in that, and we shot it, and I learned a lot. I was working with a DOP called Kate, and I learned a lot about camera, and the kit during that shoot was high-end kit. So you can imagine coming from where I was coming from to this. So the film came out, and it was really good, and it didn't do much of an international round, but in the UK, it had a big opening here, a big opening in Zimbabwe, and it took a life of its own. After that, that was around 2014, and then after that, after 2014, I made a film called Elusive Horizon, I think around 2016. This was just me flexing on my abilities. I'm not a very good director because I'm not patient. My friend goes, but I know. So I thought, okay, let me direct a film. It was really good. So a lady called Yvonne came, and she gave me a book that she had written. So I adapted the book into a film, Elusive Horizon. So I made that film in Stoke-on-Trent. It's there now on online and whatever. And then after that, I decided, okay, that's enough, because that was from 2009 to 2016, continuous filmmaking, continuously. So then I got to a point I was like, okay, all right, that's enough. I need to relax. And then that's when I decided to enroll for a master's degree. So I enrolled for a master's degree. After that, I then said, okay, let me go for a PhD. So the thing is, I began to see how my mistakes. I began to see how wrong I was as I grew, because I didn't give myself time to grow. All right, from 2009 to 2016, although I was doing stuff, I didn't give myself time to grow. So after that, I then said to myself, you know what, I need to just relax and and grow. So um even after that, even after Elusive Horizon, I got involved in I'm always involved in productions in one capacity or the other. It's either I'm consulting on the script, or it's either I'm writing a script, or there's always something that I'm doing. But I've learned to sort of pace myself and let myself grow. So in a nutshell, that's been my sort of journey.
Your journey is rich. We can write a book, not only one book, but a number of books.
Thank you.
I'm challenging you to, if you have started writing, or if you haven't started, I'm sure you've got about 2 or 3 books which can sell themselves without yourself.
I'll I'll give it a thought.
Without yourself, you see, at times people write books, but at the end of the day, they will push them. They will try to market them. But yourself, those books will be just selling by themselves.
I hope so.
Eh, you see, that's the good thing with, I'm sure, this engagement, because at some point in time when people are talking about Rufaro Kaseke, they might be knowing one area, they don't know all this rich stuff. They
Yeah,
might
okay.
know you with other maybe
As an
parts which
activist, yeah.
yes, which we are going to explain, but they don't know all this rich stuff which you have been involved into, which you are doing. But I just want to ask you a quick question on this film, Lobola, which you did. What was the reason behind it? Because I understand after that, like you were saying, it attracted a lot of good followership. The viewership was very high. What was the motivating, the pushing factor for you guys to then sit down and then make this by that time? What was the reason?
Um, you see, we don't take material from thin air as storytellers. Lobola was incubated after Taona Jaitika Marine. Someone comes to marry Marine, they don't know the culture, right? Saka vanouya vorora kumaraini kwedu kughetto, and then after vaenda, we had stories that we would start talking about mazone rezovaita papa, mazone rezovaita papa, ko pai, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine someone who's coming from Kuborotel, coming
Yeah.
to marry in Chitungwiza. So they get there with a nice car. So when we made that film, it was out of wanting to encourage dialogue about the
Okay.
custom of Lobola. We wanted to encourage that because we realized there's a gap. The
Okay.
gap was being facilitated by the fact that our fathers, my older generation, sometimes
Mm.
Wanga miss at the point in terms of why are these boys behaving this way, and vice versa. Even the guy who's coming to marry from Borodale, they don't understand why they are being made to sit down when there's chairs that are empty. Or that's on the kwasha ugare pa chair, especially in my culture, you know.
Yeah.
So it was after asking ourselves all those questions, so we decided the thing is apana dialogue, apana engagement between these two groups of people, be it the older generation and the younger generation, the rich and the poor, the affluent and the less affluent, about this custom. And we thought, good, is there a way whereby we can have people maybe come meet halfway? But it's that's some answers. So our only way of addressing that was to make a film about it and get people to talk about it. So obviously we made it a comedy, because with a subject like that, if you make it too much of a serious drama, you lose the people. So we
Yeah.
made it a comedy, nice and light, but it addressed some issues. Why? So it was necessitated by the idea to create dialogue and engagement about the custom of Lobola.
Great stuff. The moment you mentioned about Munyaradzi Chidzonga, Munyaradzi Chidzonga, did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, he did a lot of good stuff, and he was then loved by, I mean, the whole country. And I
Yeah.
understand from Big Brother, he had to be given another additional money or something like that
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
the,
He
yeah.
got a
So
huge prize money. Yeah.
yeah. So you were in safe hands, but we are almost going to the academic side of yourself. But
Yeah.
before we go there, the last part of your professional side, I understand you worked together. You worked with many organizations in your film industry journey. Are you able to just mention them? I know a few of them, but can you mention them
Mm.
yourself? Sky News, what?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, I can spend the whole day talking about the stuff that I've done. But yeah, some of the notable organizations include Coca-Cola. I got contacted by Coca-Cola to do when they were doing Share a Coke. I don't know if you remember, vakamboita campaign yekuti wainyora mazita pa Coca-Cola can and all that. So when they were launching the Zimbabwe version of that, me and John Jabu, we were contracted to do that campaign. Sky News is one of them. Amongst the big ones, I was contracted by Sky News. I was headhunted actually. I mean, with the Sky News one, it was really good because they called me. They called me. I was like, what? I was like, hi, blah blah blah, and they said, oh, okay, what do you do? So it was really good for me. I worked around the elections. I learned a lot about the UK elections and all that. Even to the day of the counting of it, we were there shooting it. So I got to learn. That was long before I thought of all this other stuff.
You need.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think those are some of the biggest organizations I've worked with. I can't remember
You
many
need.
of them.
You
Yeah.
need to remind me on the issue of counting there, because I'm sure on the on the last part of our discussion we are going to touch a bit there. I'm sure if we don't touch that area, we'll be have done a disservice to the followers. Okay, but
All right.
tell me something. Your undergrad, your masters, and maybe your PhD. Your undergrad, does it have something to do with your journey in the film industry?
So here's the interesting thing about me. I never did an undergrad. I didn't bother.
Okay, so you use the experience to root, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I said, the thing is, I'm
Which
always
is
headhunted. Like many
which
of
is
these things.
fine. Which
Yeah,
is
I
fine,
never
in
did it.
fact.
So here's a funny story. Here's a funny story. I
Yes.
um I was invited. I think in around, like I said before, I spent a lot of time between 2012 and 2015 going in and out of the UK, doing all sorts of things. It's either I'm doing translation for a film, or I'm shooting a film, or I'm doing other things. So one trip I got invited by the University of Bedfordshire.
Mm,
So they do what they call industry nights, right?
mm, mm,
So these industry nights, they call professionals from the industry to come and talk to
mm,
their master's students. All right.
mm,
So this is me. They coming in there, going in, and they ask me, "Okay, can you come?" So they pay for my ticket and whatever. Whatever. I'm like, "Oh, cool." I go in there and I did a talk for their master's students. So after that, me, I was just doing what I do every day, you know. After that, the dean of the faculty came to me and she was like, "Do you know this has not happened here for a long time?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "Students here, they will leave. Many times we end the session with half the room. Students are gone. They don't have time." And I was like, so it was like, here with you, because after the talk, students remained to ask me questions. It was packed. So she was like, because before me they had some big BBC guy to come there, and again student left. By the time he finished, the room was empty. But I managed to engage the students to a way they related nation right out, because I was telling them really practical, and I was from the heart. So Nigeria was like I narrated to you my experiences, angus, this like I time, whatever. So it resonated with them, because these are students who are coming. They don't want to be told about some BBC guys, because they feel like it's not achievable, right? But with my story, they felt like, oh, this guy is telling us something that we can actually achieve. The problem with academia is that you train, especially when you're training film academics, it's very hard, because people want to make films. They don't want to talk about films or hear about films or whatever. They want to make them. So I spoke from the heart about making films. All right. After that, the dean says, so where did you study? I was like, bro, I didn't study nothing. I'm like, what? Like, I did not nothing. I studied from the street. I'm like, really? But what she didn't know, like I said before, is I was reading from 12 years old. You know, I was reading books about anything, about lighting. Like I said before, I even read books about Cisco, books about computer networking and all those things. So knowledge and andinayo, I cite on the undergrad. I mean, come on. No. So I wanted, okay, so they said, do you want to do a master's, right? Cool. So that's how I ended up doing a master's degree. And then so yeah, that's my story. I never really did it in undergrad.
No, yourself, you end, because I understand some other time before there was that provision whereby they can say, if you want to do masters and you've got experience in something, you just need to prove that I've got this experience, and
Yeah,
then you start your masters.
that's how I
In
did
fact,
it.
that's what I'm sure a lot of institutes they are doing right now. That
Oh, it
even if
makes
you did
sense.
your undergrad, you need to prove. You
Of
need to
course,
prove
of
before
course,
you
of
do your
course.
master.
It makes sense. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
to be quite
yeah.
honest, I mean, now I'm a big fan of gap years. Now that I've been in the academy now, I understand how things work now. I'm a big fan of gap years for that reason. Go into university 1 year, go in the industry for another year, come back to the university and finish off. Because this whole idea of creating people who are just, yeah, it's not, it doesn't help.
So we can quickly now the academic portion we did enough there. We did
Yeah,
all we could. So there is this the activism part, the last part which we want to talk about. Just ask about yourself. So your involvement now into activism.
yeah,
When did it start? And I understand the good thing is that when I'm checking your updates, your videos and everything, you're a bit neutral, which is very good, because of the polarization which is happening in our country. You are neutral. But
yeah.
when did it start? When did it start? Because you are viral in these WhatsApp groups and everything. Your
Really?
videos, your everything will
Wow.
be people will be sharing.
Oh,
When
wow.
did it start?
Okay, activism. Do you know what? Like I said, I mean, I'm I agitate a lot. I question things a lot. Like I'm one person. So activism, I was born with it. I was born an activist. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not the kind of person who you can tell something and I don't question it and I don't find out about it. You know. So I'll give you an example. The film Lobola itself. So I can say activism, like the idea. Lobola was banned 3 days before the film was to be premiered, right? And why it was banned is because the censorship board told us that we are mutilating the culture, right? So they banned the film, and this film, remember, it had a big brother star in it, and all the other big brother stars were coming into it for the premiere. They were in the country, so we had 14 big brother stars in the country, and then they banned the film. Why? Because we are mutilating the culture. Why are we? How are we mutilating the culture? Because you're talking about these things. So that's where, for me, if I look back, that's where activism for me started. All right, and then we went on after that. After that, I remember one incident. I had an interview with Daily News. They were asking me about industry and whatever. And in that interview, I said something. I said, "Do you know what?
Mm, mm.
He would give us, you know me, man. I speak my mind. I said, them Gabagangwara, I tell my filmmakers 200,000. Otwapana, Gadrai reputation yangu. We can fix his reputation in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I meant it, right? Because my days were, you know, Gabi, just say, you know, whatever. Then the headline, Maxena Choni in Daily News, and the filmmaker attacks government. And it had my face on it smiling. A big piece, I saw. Sharon Mugui wrote the story, bless her soul. Filmmaker attacks government. So by then I was working with the National Gallery, doing projects for the National Gallery. The National Gallery director came to me. She was like, "Baisa newspaper from so Daily News, and you know the National Gallery is government owned." And he said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What?" He showed me the headline, and I got fired straight away because there was no way I could keep that job, you know, with me attacking the government. I didn't attack the government. Then what's our fast forward to the whole Mugabe era. Okay, for me, there's you know, with just like with everything, there's always a Sarajevo assassination. There's always a spark. The Sarajevo assassination for me was the arresting of Ivan.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was livid about what was happening in Zimbabwe, but I was concentrating on work. I was so busy. I was so busy. Project after project after project after project. I had Facebook for a long time, but I didn't even use it because I didn't have time for it. But when they arrested Ivan, because I knew Ivan obviously from Facebook, and I knew his heart. His heart was in the right place. He's a pastor. Just like everybody else. I don't think I'm the only one. I was hurt by that. But yeah, I blew up. I remember that's when I did a video. I was at the university actually, and I just ranted. I was just like, "This is rubbish. What you're doing is not good. It's not on." And from there, so from there, I actually never stopped.
But you make you make the interview very easy now because I'm sure you have pushed me to the corner where I wanted to be. We are almost winding up. Situation yedu back home, whatever pakaita anotwistawo kutaura kwedu, we don't care because zvinhu zvinobatsira nyika yedu. So I'm sure whoever is a journalist and ari kutiteerera right now must be objective to quote us correct. There's polarization as we speak. Okay. I followed a lot of your videos which you upload on your page. I'm sure you are so clear in the aspect kuti dai vanhu ava ka waigona kuita find each other. Tinogona kubata nyaya yecorruption taakupedza, but tikambobata nyaya yepolarization chii chingaitwe, because tine situation yekuti vanhu ava makomo mairi ari vanhu ava vakava kutowirirana kwavo kunogona kunetsa tisingajoine zvimwe zvidiki izvi zvinogona kunge zviri major ones avo kuwirirana kwavo ndofunga ndokwaita kuti paite stand still. Imi as an activist muri muactivism, ndeipi advice yamungakwanise kupa mungori neutral, being a neutral person? You're an academic, you have been in activism for a long time. What can be done? Polarization, these guys are wafa wakasangana, chii chingaitwe?
You know what, polarization irimo muZimbabwe and it's not helping. Chinofana kuitwa with these things, because look at it this way. ZANU-PF has been doing this for over 50 years, okay? And MDC yakabuda muZANU-PF. Why I say so is because ZCTU was once a ZANU-PF stick. ZCTU neZANU-PF zvakambotanga zvakadai so vachibva vazopasanurana kunana 2000 kuya. All right, vapasanurana kudaro. We are now at a situation where MDC neZANU-PF ndo vanhu vega vakabata matome ekuti Zimbabwe ibudirire. Right, we have been voting for so many years tichivhota, and it's not helping. Anditika MDC tingati vari kubirwa ma-elections. Yes, ma-elections anogona kubiwa, anogona kuita seangona sei, but hapana zvazviri kubatsira vana veZimbabwe. Kuenda ma-court case haasi kutibatsira. And the most painful thing for me is that tapa stage yekuti isusu kwete ma-leaders ema-political parties, isusu sevana veZimbabwe tafoswa into splitting between two groups, which is ava neava. So there's us against them, right? The us against them is not helping, because kana tiri mumageto medu matinogara umu, inini ndinotenga pamusika weMDC and vice versa. Kana weZANU-PF, I like you said, I don't belong to any political party. But so chirufana kuitwa nema leaders is to humble themselves. Very true. Anditika what this my followers are ukuthi you are a Zimbabwean first before you are a member of a political party. So what comes first haisi pamberi neMDC or pamberi neZANU, pamberi neZimbabwe, right? Tikaziva zvinhu izvozvo, tikaziva kuti the country comes first, tichabva tazoongorora kuti wataona kuti okay, saka me being a leader or me being a president, whatever, doesn't really matter as long as vana veZimbabwe vachifana nzara. Hapana zvazvinotibatsira. Right now tinogona kungoti hedu what but vana veZimbabwe vari kufana nzara. So the polarization is not helping, and it's getting worse. Takuvengana pachedu. The only ndiyandingati nzira yakanaka chete chekuti gadzirise nyika yedu is to come together to fight poverty tese ZANU-PF MDC, but right now it's not happening. So my leaders vari kufanira kuratidza kubata, vakasiya hate language, hate speech, vakasiya hate attitude, vakapfeka hate dzema-professionals varikuda kubatsira nyika, voudza ma-leaders avo kuti voudza ma-followers avo kuti ngatibatane ichiite chinhu chimwe chete. I mean, look, people might say kuti hanzi paGNU takambonzwai, but why would you keep doing the same things and expect different results? If you got into a GNU in 2010 and you made mistakes there, will you just correct those mistakes and move forward? All right, I'm going to be very, very candid here. Okay, MDC is a long way from running the country, from ruling. A long way. ZANU-PF haisi kufaka bava nechimuti zvekumhanya. Forget it. And with what's happening within MDC right now, I doubt very much if they're going to have enough time to galvanize the base to win 2023 election. That's very, very, very unlikely. I'm sorry to say that. Look at this way. 2.6 million people, right? 2.6 million people out of Nika in millions and millions of people. The base MDC must be young people, but in urban areas, but they don't register to vote. You understand what I'm saying? So we can talk about all these other things, but polarization is killing us because it could benefit power. You know, we are massaging power, the powerful people, the presidents, the Mnangagwas and the Chamisa of this world. No, I try to massage polarization, but it will rise because it's patches we're not cooperating in patches.
I want to ask something. I'm sure I just want to clear the air on this question so that people, they don't mix it up because of we have got the issue of praying and something like that. But I want to ask it on yourself, because I'm sure today or yesterday you uploaded some videos whereby you yourself, you were praying. What is the pushing factor? What is the motivation? Because you are praying for the whole country. And I'm sure our country, we are living in individualism is the one is the one enemy which is killing us. Because everyone, but yourself, you were praying. It's a 4 minutes or 5 minutes video whereby you are praying for the country, for the whole country. What was the pushing factor there?
Well, like I said before, one of my pastors, I had a conversation with one of the pastors, and they say to me, you need to pray for the country. So it's not something that I just decided, you know what, let me just start praying. No, no, no. I was guided by a man of God who said to me, you know what, you need to pray for the country. You know, but then again, me, you know, I'm not a prayer, what do you call it?
Prayer warrior.
I'm not a prayer warrior. Okay, so like I said, I pray from the heart and I speak from the heart. That's what I do. So when I prayed that prayer, I was praying from the heart. I was praying like I'm talking to God. God, please, 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 please. You know, this is not happening. This is not working. So when I did that prayer, I was actually, you know, just having a conversation with God, and then I just decided to put it out there. Also, chiefly because I wanted to sort of articulate to the government that our number one problem, what we should be praying for, is corruption. Corruption is the biggest enemy. So when I was praying, I was talking to God, right? But me posting, I could have just prayed. No one would have known. But me posting that prayer on social media was a message to the government, especially to say, guys, we are praying for the wrong things. Zimbabwe doesn't need prayer. Zimbabwe needs to uproot corruption. So no matter after to uproot corruption.
We are almost closing now. There is a time, I don't know which election period, was it 2008 or was it 2013? There is a poster which I saw, is it yesterday or today? I'm sure you once involved in the elections, or yourself you attempted. Are you going to come back? Are you going to join any of the, are you going to join any of these political parties? You want to be an independent? Which is which here?
You know what? When I did that thing, it was actually out of my community. It wasn't even me. I mean, like I said, I'm very busy with my career and everything else. But my community said to me, Rufaro, you need to stand for us. You know. So I went back home after Mgabeava, and the community was like, you know what? Why don't you just try it? You know, get in there. Like, what am I gonna do when I get in there? They were like, we need someone who can represent us in this thing. Fair and fine. So I went for it. I'm probably saying this publicly for the very, very first time. When I was doing that, I was doing it with my own money, not because I couldn't get money. I got offered a lot of money from people, especially from ZANU-PF. They were offering me money. At some point, I was offered 24,000 when I went to America from another trip, and some person offered me 24,000 to run a campaign with ZANU-PF. I was like, I don't work that way. Okay. No, I'm gonna run it in Rindega. So one of the things that I did, I wasn't into it. I wanted to win. Right? But the most valuable thing for me here was to learn a lot more about my community. In the permanent soccer during my campaign, not because I couldn't get a car. I could get a car, but the permanent soccer door to door, door to door. Door to door, door to door, door to door. I learned a lot about my community, a lot. I learned masewage ese ndoziya pari marara muri kuburitsa ese andotoziya exactly what needs to be done and how it needs to be done and everything else, because ndaita se ndaitenderera ndichoti I didn't win obviously because kana uchikampena zvepolitics zvinoda mari, and inini vanhu kwandaikampena ndaivaudza ina handina mari yemaskadhi, handisi kutengera munhu skadhi, handisi bhawa. Kana uchida skadhi inoda kubhawa nomwe ikoko. Inini ndava kubuild a community. So I guess that affected my election, because vanhu vanoda chikafu, vanoda maskadhi, vanoda chii. I didn't have that. But to be quite honest, I'm so grateful for that. As of coming back, I'm committed. Indikangodedzwa for duty. Like ipapo community yakandidedza nditi kuti uya for duty, and I went. If the country calls me again for another assignment, I'm gonna go. That's what I've always done.
That's great. Your last parting words, we have touched all the three sections which we wanted: the professional side of Dr. Rufaro Kaseke. We went to the academic side. You told us everything which happened, amazing work which you did. We then lastly touched on the activism. 3 in 1. Your last parting words, goodbye to the viewers and those who are going to watch this show later on.
Well, I just want to say, let's be resilient. I mean, if you are a Zimbabwean there, we must be resilient. We are going through a very, very tough time. So when you, activism is not for a few people. Everybody is an activist. Everybody must activate something. Look after your community. Look after your people. Look after your family. You know, for Zimbabwe to be great, you know, it starts from a family. You know, excuse me, Lord. Wait. Sorry. For Zimbabwe to be great, it starts with a family, and from family to community to chiti. So iwewe in your individual capacity nekashoma kaunako ikakwako, you know, do something. Haikona kumirira kuti vamwe vanhu vachazoita kana kuti ndakamirira nhinga azodai. No, everyone, even iwo zvakuti azvo utocontributor, because uri kupa anonzi news and positive vibes to people, whatever. So my parting message to Zimbabweans is that munhu wese, let's plug in. Kana iri nyaya yecorruption, everyone is involved. Ukaona paitika corruption, do something about it. Pfuura munhu iye, or do something. There's always something. Like right now kune COVID, I was saying to people, why don't we topa madzimai ari kuruzevha mari vatange, you know, ZANU-PF is actually doing it, although they're not doing it in the way that I thought about it. But I thought with promoting vanhu vari madzimai ari kumaruzevha vaya, I said with MDC ingadai yakazvita vakatangirwa neZANU-PF, vapei mari vonhingirika, vosona mamaski aya votitengesera isusu tichivapa mari, tacreate employment kumaruwa, handiti. Simple things like that. So we've got a role to play. Each one of us, we've got a role to play, and we should come together and play that role. Saka ndiri kuti inini, every Zimbabwean who is going to listen to this, handiti, everyone ane role to play. Ngatibatsiranei. Our country, and forget kuti ZANU-PF is going to come and help us. Kuti it's not happening. But isusu tikatanga, approach yatirofana kuita going upwards is bottom up. Handitika bottom up yakanga iripo time yehondo, handitika yepovo, when ZANU-PF was still a people's party, there was a very nice bottom up approach. But right now zvachinja, it's now top to bottom. So we need to go back to bottom up, whereby Povo has the power. But for Povo to have the power, it starts with a family. A family has to have power, a community has to have power, and then the community at large. So that's my parting message.
That's great. In our interview, I never thought that I can benefit a lot, and I have challenged you. I've got 2 or 3 things which I've challenged you. You need to write not only a single book, but I think you need to write 2 or 3 books.
Yeah.
Then the second thing, the country needs your brain.
Yeah.
Needs your, I mean, the way you are doing your things right now, to someone who is neutral, you are doing it very well.
Thank you very much.
If you are being called in good faith, because the calling must be checked again.
Yes.
If the calling is smart,
it's genuine, and it's a perfect calling, we'll do it.
Yes, for the masses.
Yeah.
I challenge you, join them. It has been awesome, and my prayer to you is that may the good Lord bless you.
Thank you.
You are now becoming a doctor from your hard working.
Yes.
Not these other doctors whereby people.
We worked for this. Yeah.
The calling ones, no, you worked for it. You have got a lot of experience. You've got a lot to tell the people. I wish may the good Lord bless you.
Thank you so much.
At one time, I'm sure I will call you back again. It's our first time knowing each other.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you so much, because at times, if you are reaching out to these high professional people, they start to
That's
say,
not me. There's nothing high profile about me, bro.
Other people, they'll say, who are you? And then they check maybe your followership, and then say, no, I can't waste my time. But thank you so much, Mkoma. May the good Lord bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Tell us the date when you are going to be given that barreta.
Yes, I'll let you know. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mkoma. May the good Lord bless you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks.